Ah, hello, I say confidently, and not as if I don't know if any of my technology is working. I am going to assume that everything is working and that I don't have to work on anything at all. Welcome to Motorstorm. That's not what the name of this contest is. This contest, for anybody who is not aware of what's going on here, this is the live stream pertaining to the June animation contest, and the challenge for this month was capture the flag. So I'm not sure if I did 2 or more or just 2. Might have been 2 or more, fighting over one object that can be passed between characters. That's the only requirements, and everybody, I assume, has followed the rules somewhat. I would know for certain if they followed the rules if I had had any time to actually watch the entries, but I didn't, because this boy and my other 5 friends, for anybody, again, I'm sure I've announced the heck out of this, but Project Rose, my animation Monty Ohm study group, is going to be hosting a panel at RTX, Rooster Teeth's official convention in Austin, on Sunday, which is not like this month, July. Hold on, let me check my calendar. Sunday. Okay, yeah, July 9th. So if you don't have RTX tickets yet, buy them, please. If you know somebody who hasn't bought RTX tickets yet, tell them to buy them. Oh my gosh. My fingernails are covered in paint. Don't ask me why there's paint on my fingers. Alright. So like I said, I haven't actually watched any of these yet, so this will be the first time that I watch all of these entries. And then at some point you can listen to the sounds of the cogs inside of the machine inside of my head spinning and grinding as I try to figure out who has won the categories for this month, which is, I have to remind myself, is best visuals, best choreography, and best narrative. So let us see. So the first entry that we have here, don't ask me why there's paint on my finger. Anyway, so the first entry that we have here is from Septic, who's a longtime contributor to these contests. If you don't know who he is yet, you'll find out. Rice Pringas, please go to RTX. The Dark Dragon, please buy RTX tickets, come attend our panels. The July 9th, Sunday, RTX Austin, come. We're gonna have a big ol', it's gonna be a massive fan meetup. I'm gonna hype this up so much, and it's gonna fail, and it's gonna be like DashCon all over again. That's gonna be the first Cake Station meetup. DashCon 2.0. Alright, let's watch Septic's entry. Is that correct? That doesn't look correct. Why does this not look correct? That looks less correct. Hold on. It does not fit. Something has changed. I don't know what has changed, but something has changed. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop. Don't worry about it. This is why Streamlabs was better. Okay. Let's, hold on, give it to me. Give it to me. Grab. Nope. That doesn't help. What has changed here? Is it the fact that we're looking... Is it the fact that we're not looking... Can I shrink? No! Gosh darn it! This is perfect. It's perfect! This is the prime content that you subscribed for! I can't make it big. Well, I mean, I guess I know how to make it bigger. But filters, right? Okay. How's that? No. No. Is that? But did I? No, we still have too much space. This. I'm gonna go ahead and... Did I do it? Is that good? Did I do it? No, there's still more. There's still more. Oh! Slowly. That's good enough. I did it! I'm the best live streamer that ever designed anything. No! I'm not burning the kitchen! No! Oh, now the screen is the wrong place. It's a real desktop, you guys. It's a real computer desktop. This is my Linux machine. I got it. It's fine. It's perfect. It's perfectly perfect. Okay. Okay. Let's watch this entry now. Everybody enjoy the entry from Septic.
You know, I love playing Genshin Impact. It would sure be a shame if Hoyo released another game that I'd have to spend my money on. Well then. Ow! You know, I really didn't see my day turning out like this. Ow, can you let go of my head, please? Oh, hey, what's up? Oh god, can somebody help me? Ow! And I said, well, that's not a camel, that's my wife. Please stop hitting her with me!
What do you want, though?
Okay, come on, please!
What do you want?
Please! No! You know, I love playing Genshin.
Okay. Critique time. Very... Hello? No. Jeez, OBS, okay? Okay, is everything still here? Is the live stream still going? Sounds like it. I just got two boobs from Windows because it disconnected. I'm having a great time with technical difficulties here. Anyway, being able to follow the action. It was a little difficult to follow what was going on. It was a little difficult to follow what was going on, and I'm gonna go ahead and watch it at like half speed just to see if I can figure out what's going on. Not what's going on, but why I feel like I'm not following everything properly. I think what may be contributing to it is how colorful and busy the background is. It's sort of all the same color and contrast as the characters, so I'm having a hard time separating the characters from the background. Maybe render the background out separately and sort of tone it down for certain shots, because something that we experienced with both OVA 1 and OVA 2, I promise it's coming out, well, especially with OVA 1, is that we learned exactly how much paying attention to the background can do for your silhouettes. You can keep your silhouettes really nice and readable as long as your background isn't either too busy or too bright. On OVA 1, we definitely had some shots that were too bright, like the background was too bright and the characters were competing with that. So definitely keep that in mind. In terms of the camera movement, I thought that the editing and camera, like the cinematography in this was stellar. But I don't know if you're animating the camera in linear or Bezier, but I think it would positively impact our perception of the animation if the camera was smoother. Literally, I'm talking curves. It's like actually using Bezier, actually spending some time, playing with the arms in the graph editor to try and make that camera motion feel a whole lot more tailored. Since most of us are focused primarily on combat animation, our focuses are on the actual animation of the characters more than anything else. And I've stressed it before that the camera has a lot to do with it, but I still spend the majority of my time on character animation and not necessarily on camera movement when I really should. Like, that was a really good... This whole thing, into the air, being caught, turning around, that was like 3 whole wallpapers in one. That's really good. We've got key moment, we've got key moment. It's all great. Another one, it all flows together really well. But it's the fact that the camera is still very linearly moving from one keyframe to the next that it's making everything feel kind of jerky. Even necessarily, you can make completely smooth character animation look jerky if the camera motion is jerky, and vice versa. You can make crappy character animation... What? Oh, yeah. You can make crappy character animation look great with really detailed, good camera animation. But yeah. I don't typically... Because, okay, so I've watched Dylan Goo's animation live streams, and typically he focuses on let's take a look at this pose, that pose, or we could have pushed that pose a little bit more, or this needs more directionality to it, more parallel lines, but I feel like y'all are gonna get there anyway. At least with me when I was animating, most of what people would end up pointing out, I was already aware of. And nobody spends more time with their animation than the person who made it. So no matter what, I could never analyze any animation to the point that the animator who did it would. So I would say, just keep focusing on the important parts. Strong poses, you're doing great with strong poses. The flow, the follow through and anticipation. You're slowly getting better at understanding body dynamics, how muscles work, how the body works, and especially, cinematography for an animation style like this. You're gonna get it. Just keep practicing on it and just keep going until it starts to feel better and better. And that basically will go for every entry in this contest and in the future ones. So, yeah. Very good. 10 out of 10. You win. Let's move on to the next entry. Oh. 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 Whew. I hope my internet is still here. Oh, good. Yes, good. I saw Vagrant say something, so it's very good. This next entry is by Awari Duck. I have to check to make sure I'm crediting everybody by their proper thingies. Yeah, so some of you still didn't post the name you wanted to be credited by, but that's okay. The graph editor is scary. I get it. But trust me, like, industry animators will spend their entire lives in the graph editor. You don't have to do that. But it's always helpful if you have something, some kind of hiccup, some kind of smoothness problem, some kind of flow that you're not getting, you can fix it in seconds just using the graph editor. It's basic understanding. It's a basic concept. It just takes a little bit of teaching to figure it out, and then forever you'll have the greatest tool in your kit. But it should be treated like that. It shouldn't like you're not gonna make a table with just a chisel. So don't just use the don't just use the graph editor to make an animation. You make the animation the way that you typically would, and then when you have a bit that needs a little bit of smoothness, then you take out the chisel. Easy peasy. Okay. Warrior Duck's entry. I need to move Discord out of the way. There. Whoop. Okay. And go. We are still watching in half speed. That's terrifying. Alright. Once again.
The only way you'll get back to your time period is by beating me. There is such potential in one mortal life. You have wasted yours.
Wow. Okay. So once again, Awari Duck has entered with a very, very Dragon Ball-esque animation. And it's super cool. And you really have a knack for these shots. It's like super quick cut. And despite it being really quick cut, I still like the incoming oh no phase. You've got a really strong understanding of camera angles and like playing the camera to make impacts feel heavier and all that stuff. The only thing that immediately jumped out to me is that there really wasn't that much of a passing of the previously stated object that should be passed between characters. It just kind of felt like if anyone was handling the object, they were standing still and not really fighting with it. Not really fighting for it. Like, they were fighting for it, but, you know, it wasn't really pertinent for them to hold it. There wasn't a ton of that. But what is here, like always, like I said, the cinematography, the editing, the actual action itself. I love these moments where it's, you know, the impact and it feels, you know, you've got like a hit stop thing going on. It's you didn't even have like an impact. It was just a flash and then you'd hit him and then he flies away. And it feels super powerful. Like I said for the previous entry, you know, it's walking kind of a fine line between your established style and what I'm more familiar with. Obviously, my point of reference is like Monty Ohm, and this is not exactly a Monty Ohm style animation, but that doesn't make it less of a good animation. It is in its own style, and in its own style, it's pretty dang good. You know, I'm pretty sure you're still animating in SFM, so the fact that you're doing this much in SFM, and the things that you've done in the past in SFM, still pretty amazing. So, good Bob. Okay. Oh, dang, you did that in 2 days? Wow. Everybody give a round... Wait, I have applause. There you go. Okay. Next entry is from Limitless Animation. What was your name? Yeah, okay. Limitless Animation or UA Reformed. Okay. Loop. Sound. Video. Okay. Let's go.
Flag reset.
Wow.
Flag reset.
Did you animate this to look like Machinima for the first half? That's pretty original. Also, yes, everyone is echoing my same thoughts. This is the most beautiful entry I've seen in a long time. Looks like that kind of effortless perfect that you get out of animating in like UE4. So yes, it's very beautiful. I like the cinematography. Very cool. So to get to the critiques, I would say that it's not terribly choreography heavy, and like with Awari Duck's entry, there really wasn't much possession or trading of the aforementioned object. It was just two people fighting in the presence of the object. You know, so in this case, it would have been more interesting if the red dude had actually picked up the flag or or the yellow dude picked up the flag and one of them ran off with it, and then, then they would start to fight. Maybe they could even fight with the flag as a weapon, or at the very least, there would be some kind of a struggle between the two of them for possession of the object. But this part was pretty cool. So I saw mocap somewhere. Did, with some assistance of mocap, started a week late. I had a different idea in mind. Time is running out. I mean, that's a reality that we all face. So there's two concepts that I've heard of about filmmaking specifically, but it applies very much to animation, which is two things: pruning the decision tree, which is that you have a tree, and basically when you start your project, you have an infinite number of branches. But as you get closer and closer to the deadline, you have to prune the decision tree. And eventually you're going to come down to the one single branch, which leads you to completing the project on time for the deadline. And that's not always the branch that you wanted. It's not always the branch that you had in mind when you started. But it is the branch that you came to. And so you just have to do your best to choose the best path for the deadline. But, I mean, there's just times when it doesn't work out. And so, this ended up being a good entry. It's very beautiful, like I said. The concept is still good. I still enjoyed it. But there are things that could be improved. And that's extremely valuable. I always tell people in the server not to be afraid of failure. Because within failure is a lesson that is more valuable than, a lesson that victory or success could teach you. Because all success teaches you is that, well, what you do works. But when you fail, it teaches you what you can do better. And so, I always tell people, rush to failure. Fail as many times as you possibly can. And you can learn way more from it. But, like I said, this is not by any means a failure. But there are things to be improved. The other term that I've heard is killing your babies, which sounds, terrible, but it just means, like, if you have something in mind for your animation, your movie, your story, whatever you're doing, and you just love the idea, but either it's not realistic or it takes the whole story off track, it's not contributing as much as you wanted it to whatever you're doing, then you have to kill your baby. Despite how much you love it, despite how much you wanted it to be a part of it, despite how much it was part of your dream to be a part of it, you have to get rid of it. He says, or they say, I mostly wanted to do this to experience finishing on a deadline. Thanks for the feedback. You're very welcome. That is the entire reason for these contests, is to give people a, sort of a no-stakes environment. Because, if you had a job and you needed to finish something by the deadline, that means your livelihood, that means, money, it means relationships, it means your professional career. Here, I'm just giving people a prompt, which can be the proxy for a director's note or an actual professional project, and then I give them a deadline, and that also helps simulate that environment. And so some of you guys, like even this, there are some animators that I've met who can complete less in several weeks, and when I tell them that there are people in my server who can complete something like this in literally 2 weeks, they don't believe me. So you guys are a rare breed, and I am proud to be here to foster you guys into the fastest, highest quality animators and digital film producers that I've ever seen. So alright, so let's do next entry. Chloe, why do you feel horrible? Chloe, I was giving an inspirational speech. Why do you feel bad? Alright, this next entry is by Chloe. You could do lots. Remember what I told you? You just have to have confidence in yourself and understand that failing is part of the process and that you have to learn. Ori deck, no. No 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Septic says you have to build up to it, which is true. There's absolutely nobody who was like, hey, I'm gonna try animation, and then the first thing they did was like, oh man, this is great. Or like, you know, I was having a conversation with my friend Vagrant, and he was saying it's been 4 years since he started animating, and he was disappointed with where he was after 4 years. And I had an example of an animation that I did in my 6th year of animating, and it was not even half as good as what he can do now after 4 years. And, you know, so that, you know, and he attributed it to the support of the server, the support of Project Rose, and, you know, that's what I want to do, is I want to give people more than I had when I was trying to learn this stuff. So, you know, we've got a wonderful group of people here. If you are interested in doing this kind of animation, you have to be open, and you have to understand you're not going to be perfect at it for, you know, a very long time, and you're not going to be to your standard of quality for at least 2 or 3 years. But we have a community here. That's what we're here for. So. Listen, there's not much else to my streams except for watching you guys and being like, oh, you did a good job. So I have to, like, give these streams more meat sometimes. Alright, so this next entry is by... Where is it? Again, not a name. No preferred name for the entry, so I'll just say both of them. Ryanus, or ROTS. Oh. There we go. Go. That was amazing. That was incredible. What the heck was that? That was awesome. My goodness. I am so excited about this entry for one specific reason. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like do gunplay in any of these entries, and it's so good. The concept on this entry is so high. By the way, great job with the muzzle flashes. You know, so many people do like this pitiful little teeny weeny burst of flame out of the end of it, and it doesn't feel like it has any power at all, and it doesn't like cast any light or anything. These cast light, and they're super chunky. It's so good. Like, again, speaking about these entries, you're all still learning. So, of course, the animation isn't perfect. There are still some, you know, I can tell when some things are IK. You know, IK does not look natural. It doesn't look like the torso is driving the arms sometimes, which is typically why I go for FK over IK arms. But it's easier to animate weapons with IK arms. So there's things like that. That's fine. But the actual concept of the animation itself far outshines the need for perfect animation, and it all just came together so well. And the cinematography is so good. Like, despite the quality of the animation, everything worked. I felt the impact when I needed to. You know, the camera was doing all the right things. I saw everything I needed to. It told such an amazing story without any dialogue, you know, without any subtitles. You know, I got it. Everything, I got it. Absolutely everything landed. You know, obviously, since we're judging these with several different categories regarding visuals and what was it? Sound? I don't even know the requirements for my own contest. Best narrative, best choreography, and best visuals. So, you know, like I said, I'm excited about this because it's gunplay, which we do not see very often. And I'll be honest, gunplay, like, blocking out and choreographing gunplay is almost as difficult as making, you know, good hand-to-hand choreography look good. But this was just so good. Blew me out of the water. You know, obviously the visuals could be improved. Obviously the animation can be improved. You know, but, you know, nothing feels horribly floaty. And I guarantee you, we check back on ROTS in like a year and his work is going to be unmatched. Like, keep going, keep animating. You know, follow your instincts. Keep, you know, keep learning. Get better at this. I know you're going to get better at this. This is just going to get more and more incredible as time goes on. And all those things about, like, the rough animation quality, the, you know, the sort of flat visuals, the lack of interesting lighting, all that stuff is going to come with time. But even just the effects that you did like that is just, it's great. Absolutely amazing. Let me just see if I can drop a little bit more of an in-depth critique on the animation itself. Because, like, your poses are pretty good. But like I said, so sometimes it feels like the torso isn't really driving the arms. It feels like the hands are really floating in front of the body. Again, a little bit of like a timing thing. Typically, like, the push-off of a run is faster than, like, the leaping both feet off of the ground moment. So it should be like a you know, sort of snappy thing. It's still a little bit slow. You know, things like leaping up onto the crate could use more of a, like, an arc. When you come up, sort of trail the chest so that it doesn't look like she has, like, crazy core strength and is able to stand completely straight up after vaulting over something. You know, just little things like that. But otherwise, this is amazing. Good Bob. Very good Bob. next entry is by... I have to check. Who made this? Hold on, somebody's at my door. I have to cancel the stream because there's people at my... Okay, there's nobody at my door. Okay, back to the entry. This one is by someone. Okay, it's just Roswell. Oh, Roswell or Mac. One of those. No, there was somebody at the door, but it wasn't important. Okay. Let us watch the entry from Roswell or Mac. Somebody tell somebody to choose one of them. Amen. Oh boy, Scout. Okay, so the Scout was just there watching. There's somebody in the bushes. No. Anyway, it's very cool. The choreography was actually really interesting. One of the first things that stands out to me is that there may just be a few too many slow motion shots. One or two interspersed is fine, but like especially with this one with like the gut punch that leads into the uppercut, this would probably play better if it was a much shorter, maybe like a 1 or 2 frame hit stop instead of 2 back-to-back slow motion sequences. This part I had a little bit of trouble understanding because she's here and then there's not really much that gives the audience the impression that she's, nothing personnel kid teleports behind you and then kicks her in the back. But, as I said, the choreography itself is good. The choreography is absolutely fine. In fact, there are really some parts here that flow super duper well. The other thing that I would say is that the camera is a little bit too high FOV and a little bit too close to the characters. I would, go to something like 35, 40 millimeters, I think 50 millimeters is typically a little too tight, but, just not so close. I can tell that we're so close that we're actually clipping through the models. So you don't have to be that close. You can do high FOV close-up camera shots, but for the most part, you would want to be a little bit further away, because like things like this, you know, it's not doing a lot for the pose. We're not seeing everything that we could be seeing. But you know, these inserts, the reaction shots, a close-up is fine for that stuff. But you really want to make sure that the camera is far back enough that we can read every pose, get a good silhouette from every pose. But, you know, you understand power, you understand hit stops, you understand, you know, choreography plenty well. You just need a few less back-to-back slow motion shots, and then, you know, move the camera back, you know, make the FOV of the camera just a little bit tighter. But the other thing is that maybe involve the camera a little bit more. It could be that we're avoiding wide shots because it's hard to figure out what to do with the camera in a wide shot. But if you check out one of my older camera movement videos, I talk about a couple of tips and tricks, things that you can do to sort of involve the camera in the movement of the characters. But yeah, good job, very good job. Great choreography, good concept. I like fighting over chili dogs. I'm surprised that there's like, well, it's not a chili dog, it's just a hot dog. Should have been a chili dog, should have had Sonic the Hedgehog in it. Just saying. Anyway. Moving on. Roswell, no. No cringing. No, nobody here cringes at failure. We all clap. We clap when we fail. We fail and we learn. That's all we do. Is we learn and we learn and we learn. And do not ever feel bad for like, oh, that's all I could do under the deadline. You are learning from this process. You are learning from the process of pruning the decision tree and killing your babies. You are doing it. You are an animator. You are becoming a better animator every single time you enter. So keep practicing. Okay. This next one is by Violet or Violet Embers. Once again, you I don't know what I have to do to make it more clear that you guys are supposed to tell me what you want me to address you as. Tell me what your name is. Tell me. Tell me. Okay, let's watch this entry by Violet or Violet Embers. Oh, 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 oh.
Alright, what's the catch?
Catch? There's no catch.
There's no way a pile of tables like that doesn't have some kind of trap on it.
Got it!
Well, this is going to be annoying.
Daybreaker?
Daybreaker.
Any damage to the toy will result in a lower grade.
That was cool.
Alright, look.
Also, okay, so first off, I love the like team dynamic going here. The dialogue is really funny. I can really feel the team banter that they've either known each other not long enough to be a good team or just long enough to be over every single team member. But if you guys aren't aware, which you should be, Violet is a great character modeler, and she's been animating for a while, but hasn't entered in a little bit. So I'm very, very glad to see the return. I like that this has both become Capture the Flag and King of the Hill, although, like I said, oh no, that is actually really cool. That's straight up the like, Neo move from No Brakes. That was very good. Let's see, what can I critique? So there are a few moments, which they're not terrible. Monty did it all the time when a character would just stop moving, and that's fine. Just for the sake of character, you may want to sort of continue the movement to make it feel more natural. I think the thing that stands out the most is like something that you try to improve on is camera movement. Like here, it just feels like it's overshooting. From here, and then, that... I get that we're trying to frame up the introduction of this character, which is fine, but it just feels floaty. This too, this is a good frame, but then this isn't, because there's almost an entire half of this frame where nothing is going on, and I have a feeling that's just from the Bezier overshooting. But the editing was actually really good on that, and that was a good move. We have a few members who have a little bit of trouble letting Bezier do all the work. But like the movement of the camera specifically, it does influence a lot. So whether or not the object in the frame, which is actually something that I plan on talking about in a video, which has this crazy name, which is the conservation of vectors, which is not a name that I came up with, but it is equally as complicated as what it's trying to describe. It's too complicated to explain here, but that was a really good shot. But it's just little things. Just keep it in mind. It's not terrible for every shot. And there are some things, like I can see, it's a difficulty that every animator has, which is how do footwork. I can see it here on the blue character. It's just difficult to think about the body and trying to get the hands in the right place and make the feet moving around look natural. And that all comes down to reference, or just like thinking about it, picking up a paper towel tube and just doing it yourself and seeing what your own body is doing when you start to do that naturally. Because there are a lot of things that the body does naturally that we just don't think about. It's like drawing a bicycle. Everybody has seen a bicycle, but if you ask 100 people to draw a bicycle, they won't be able to do it correctly. It's just one of those things. But overall, the concept is good, the animation's good, the choreography and just the narrative itself is good. The visuals, of course, are great, because you had input in all of these character models, and they all look amazing. So, very good job. I'm scouring the comments at this moment, because I'm wondering if anybody has noticed something about this entry. Does anybody want to guess what is interesting about this entry aside from what I've talked about? Any guesses? Almost. Right? I mean, aside from fighting over the Princess Cake doll. No. No. Okay. I'm gonna play this section for you, and I want you to try and guess again.
There's no way a pile of tables like that doesn't have some kind of trap on it.
Got it!
The head slide. No, not the head slide. Yes, it's me! Yes! I am in this! I play the girl that got bodied. Violet does not have a very big pool of female voice actors, so I ended up being in it. Even Vagrant didn't get it. Honestly, I was listening to this, I was like, what the... Whoa. Whoa. Yamacha? Okay. This next entry is by... Again, no name. Okay. Well, at least, like, your Discord username is just G, so I assume that's not what you want to be called. So this next entry is by Aggressive Calm.
Alert.
Hold on. Don't alert yet. Oop. Okay. Time to watch. Okay, yes, loot.
Alert. The enemy has taken our intelligence. Alert. The enemy has...
Yeah, that was good. I knew that things were getting real the moment the Deus Ex glasses were broken. He just hit him in the face over and over again. It's Flash versus Reverse Flash. Okay, so... Awesome concept, great narrative. Great cinematography. The actual fight choreography does bolster the story, which is good. Choreography should always move the story along. It shouldn't just be people fighting for the sake of fighting, for the sake of cool moves and whatever. But you really got a good understanding of camera movement, of framing, of editing. All that stuff works out really well. The only thing that I would say is that, like, again, coming from the perspective of Monty Ohm Animations, there could be a little bit more of a variety in the action. More of an exchange would make things, you know, it would bridge the gap between the slower moments and the faster moments. You know, here we've got a lot of, you know, the same sort of action. You know, we've got one kick, and then, like, this part's good. This is a pretty good exchange. But then, it's punching in the face, or it's, a lot of punches all at once. A lot of punches all at once, again, is cool. But just like with the last entry, back-to-back slow motion shots is not always that entertaining. And so seeing just rapid fire, punching constantly it's gonna get boring after a while. So, sort of more exchanges. Yeah, honestly, the animation, don't have a problem with it at all. It's just a choreography thing. Just working on creating more interesting choreography, trying to work, I like that you work the crate into it. Using the environment is a great way to spice up choreography, but, more environmental effect on the fight, maybe more props than just the flag, more exchanges, sort of more back and forth, who's got the upper hand and stuff like that. And this is SFM, so there's really not much you can do about the visuals, that's fine. But yeah, very good entry, funny, good narrative, great choreography, great editing, great camera movement. It's all great. Just like every single person who ever enters, there's always places where you can improve. Aggressive Calm says, to tell you the truth, story isn't my best thing. I usually prioritize action more in my videos. I know what that's like. I don't typically, or at least for a long time, I had a lot of trouble trying to fit a story into my videos. But there's two things that you have to realize. One, it is possible even to have a simple narrative in your fight, and that will elevate your fight that much higher. But also you have to realize you don't have time for like a 3-act play in a YouTube video. YouTube videos are very short form content, and so, the most that you can do is explain the show the motivation of the characters, and then have that be the setup to the work. Just a basic through line. Doesn't have to be anything complicated, just more than we're fighting. And, all you needed for this was one guy wants the suitcase and the other guy doesn't want to give it to him. That's perfect. That's a great story all on its own. Easy peasy. Michael says, I have a question with action choreography. Do we have to make poses for impact of the person being attacked, or is it ragdolled? You would have to make poses for the person being attacked. But typically, you don't want to have nothing. You don't want to have nothing happen, and you don't want every attack to knock out somebody. You can have attacks land and have the character react to them, but also not have it be the end of the fight. And that was something that I struggled with for a long time, is keeping my fights going. And one of those things that you can do is just, if you want to have somebody get hit, don't end the fight there. Don't make it a knockout move. You can wind all the way up and hit somebody right in the jaw and still have them just be like, oh, that kind of hurt. Let's keep going. Mortal Kombat. Just think about it that way. Next entry. Yes, it's the impact, the reaction to the impact is what illustrates how powerful the attack was. So, for the sake of keeping it longer, you can make it very little. For the sake of ending the fight, you can make it a lot. You can do it both ways. You can have a massive attack have very little occur, or you can have a very small tap, blow somebody's brains out. It's all about what you want to have happen. The next entry that we have is by, what is your name? Metro. Cool. You did tell me what you wanted to be called. Thank you very much. Okay. Let us go. Wow, that was cool. Once again, okay, so there are some good lessons here. At the beginning, there's not much happening except for, you know, a loopable animation and some camera movement. And here we've got two characters who are standing absolutely still, doing nothing but staring at each other with the camera sliding along. And this is actually a really good choice. You can set the mood. You can make the ambience clear with very, very little work. Just characters standing there and staring at each other, you know, while the camera reveals like an emotion, a reaction, you know, the environment itself. All that stuff is free, and Monty would do that a lot. Just very simple, you know, low effort animations and some camera movement, and you can easily add 20-30 seconds to the beginning or end of your animation with just that, and it does so much for the mood, and it's completely free. So that's one thing that you did really well here. Let me see. Like, the actual pacing of the fight was also really good. Once again, this is an example of an animation with a narrative that works despite sort of, you know, the quality of the animation. It's obviously not perfect. You know, there's some things that, you know, there may be too few in-betweens. You know, maybe the punch could have been faster. Again, we have sort of letting Bezier take over, which means that we have slow, slow, fast, and then slow, slow. So, you know, it is easing in, and that would take some of the power away from the movement, but it ends up impacting away pretty fast anyway, so it's not terrible. And then we cut. This is something that a lot of action filmmakers know about, which is cutting with the action. So as soon as there is an impact, we cut. You know, and that helps things most times, unless you really want the impact to be felt, in which case, you know, you can just hold on it. But it's an option. It's something to put in your tool belt. Also, use of webs, really interesting. A great trick, again, changing the environment. It'll make your animation seem infinitely more complicated if you can have a set change. And so in this case, we went from inside what looks like the Death Star and we went outside on top of what appears to be a moving object. So we're like on top of a train. So we've got that sense of movement between the things that are flying by with the lights that are passing overhead, and, you know, a very slight rumble to everything. And so, you know, the camera movement, absolutely great. As someone else pointed out earlier, the camera movement itself and the editing works with it. It helps clear up some of that animation, you know, chunkiness. We go straight from a running shot, which is once again that loopable running animation, cut, and where is Gwen? She's here in the frame, and then in the next frame she's in the same spot, in that same part of the frame. If you can keep the important subject of your frame in the same place in frame from one shot to the next, it'll be almost like you didn't cut. But you know what you are going to get out of that cut? It's going to feel exciting. It's going to help the action feel more frantic without losing the subject. The only thing that I would say is that keep conscious once again. Also, that move was sick. The jumping, spinning kick thing, that was awesome. That came out really well. Stuff like this, you know, we're almost losing Deadpool. So you would want to either illuminate him or illuminate the background to bring that silhouette back out. You have to be careful not to lose your silhouettes. But yeah. It is good. Very, very. Right. Ryan with an E says, Jackie Chan said cut on impact, but after the cut, rewind half a second. Yeah, basically. You want to double the hit. Because in real time, nobody is going to feel, you know, if you actually keep linear time continuity and you actually have the punch and then you cut and then in the next shot the fist is already moving back, it's going to feel like you just tapped him. But if you show the punch twice in rapid succession, you know, shot, cut, and then at the beginning of the next shot, show that punch again, then it's going to feel really meaty. And nobody is going to notice. Not unless they go through it frame by frame. There's a lot of things that you're going to realize studying action where you're playing with people's psyche. You're playing with people's attention span. You know, with the faults of the human brain, you're going to realize that there are a lot of things that you can do to enhance something that are not realistic or probable, but you have to do them. As a filmmaker, you have to do these things. And Monty was very much about doing that stuff. Okay. What is the next? The next animation, the next entry, is by Steven with a PH, who is very good. I've seen his animations lots, who are all going to enjoy.
I want chocolate milk.
Relatable.
Chocolate milk. Chocolate. Bleh.
It's mine now.
Gimme. Hmm?
Is
this just my destiny? To never have chocolate milk?
No. I will have it.
I drank it. I want chocolate milk.
That was awesome. That was so good. The stuff that you can do in 2D and like make it look so like this was a literal 3D camera movement over here over this dude's shoulder, and it just looks great. And it's completely in 2D. The only thing that, like, okay, so first off, amazing, like, you fit this little narrative, and you made us relate with this character. You made us pity him, and you made us want him to win. Because he was about to face failure and lose his chocolate milk. And then he didn't. And he won. And then at the end we think, did he really deserve the chocolate milk? Was he just as much of a monster as the Blue Stick Man? Something to think about. So one of the literally the only thing that I can say about this is the background. Because it's completely flat, it may just seem like nothing is, like, we're not moving. It's good that this 3D camera move worked, but because we can easily imply that they're just standing there and not moving back and forth. But like panning up to the bottle, it would help if we had, you know, like the environment moving by, like we're tracking it falling downwards. Same like with this cut, it just feels like, okay, black has exited the frame, blue is in the frame, and he just disappears. You know, we don't understand that it's a different shot, that we're looking somewhere else until we realize that, okay, black is coming into frame. But yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah. Easy peasy. Worked out really good. Love everything else. Absolutely the best. You are Hyun's dojo. Okay. Now. Well, last but not least, in fact it was the first, as far as I know, the first entry of this month, by, what is your name? What do you, okay, you did not tell me what you wanted to go by. Okay, it's either Raccoon Demon or OMG it's Wolfie Raccoon. Rebby Stubby, let us go once I bring up the thing.
David, where are you going? David, hand over the sword, and this will all go smoothly.
No. Oh. Dibs.
I guess I'm taking it forcefully then.
That's what I said to your mom. Let go! Essie, come here! Listen, man, you've already shot me at least 12 times. How much more ammo does that thing hold?
Let's find out. I blame cake for this. David, where are you going? David.
Yep. Sounds right. Okay, how many days did this take? Because you were the first one to enter, and you entered on... My goodness. You entered this on the 9th. I issued it on the... You had, like... No, you didn't take 4 days to do this. You only did You did this in 4 days? This is an incredible amount of animation for just 4 days. That's wild. That is wild. Alright, so, first off, amazing work. Very good. Your camera movement has improved. There are some things with the animation that are a little chunky, but I mean, I cannot be too brutal. This literally, you did this in 4 days. So I'll just go ahead and point it out. So, timing for some of these things, like punches, like I was saying before, you know, it feels like it's just maintaining the same speed. You know, this is like you're pushing somebody, not necessarily punching somebody. But like I said before, also, because of the reaction of it, you can make a tap look like a full-on haymaker. But in this case, it would just improve the feeling of the punch if it started a little bit slow, or if, you know, wind up and then speed, and then, like, 2 frames and we're impact, you know. All that stuff. Same thing with the headbutt. Instead of frame and then equal, it would be more of headbutt and then 2 frames later we're here and then we follow through. Every single one of these impacts would greatly improve from that. This is being tugged, which worked out fine. But again, so this is something body dynamics related, which is that once he touches the ground with his foot, you know, and his chest really isn't going anywhere, typically when people spin, they use their chest. They lead with their chest. They don't lead with their pelvis. So you would want to rotate the chest more to the right and like tuck his arm in and start moving that direction instead of just pirouetting the entire body from the base of the pelvis. Actually have him like his chest facing the blue dude by this point. And then falls. Always have some bounce in a fall. When you know, it's just the simple truth. When you fall, you don't freeze up. When you hit the ground, even if you're sliding, you know, your legs are gonna come up. They're gonna go from straight to bent. You know, the pelvis and chest are gonna bopple around a little bit. You know, your head's gonna, you know, wiggle around. Your arms are gonna trail up by your head. Things like that. Just thinking about the conservation of momentum, not killing any energy. All that good stuff. But also, like, giving enough time to your movements to make them, you know, a rational movement. More of a wind-up. Like, fully bend him all the way over, like, almost head on the floor before he jumps backwards into this. You know, and you wouldn't want to go straight from knees completely bent to, like, out here. You would want to start, like, almost in a full squat, completely bent over, and then, like, 1, 2, you know, 3, and then we're starting to leave the ground, and then flip through it. Flips are difficult. Your center of gravity changes when you do, like, you know, like a backward, like a back flip or a front flip. Depending on where you put your arms and legs, it changes your center of gravity, so you spin on a different axis. Yeah, I mean, yes, always use reference. But yeah, no, that's fine. It's that you're going to find the sweet spot of being able to animate quickly and animating well. You will eventually have animated so many backflips, so many front flips, so many punches and blocks and dodges and kicks that it'll just become muscle memory. And that muscle memory of like, oh, well, I've animated a backflip and I've animated a kick, I could probably do a jumping, spinning backflip kick. You know, eventually you can just make sense of it. And that just comes with practice. You know, and, you know, obviously, poses and things like this, you know, that, I'm almost positive that was more of an animation error than choice, but, you know, use reference, learn from the reference, you know, give it a shot, try the pose yourself. With throwing and hitting, I would very much like to touch on this, which is that you need... You know, the moment something enters the air, you've jumped off the ground, you've been thrown into the air, anything like that, you no longer have the ability to speed up. All you're going to do is slow down, because nothing is imparting velocity on you anymore. So, you know, this is imparting velocity, throwing somebody. So you throw, and then once you hit the wall, then it's like, okay, slow down time. Then we go slow, slow, fast, 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 and then we hit the ground again. So you'd actually want to be like, da da da, and then da, and then hit the ground. You know, it would be and then you're in the air, and then you're down. And it feels like a really good rhythm, and, you know, that stuff makes bodies feel really heavy. Monty did that a lot. He was super good at just letting things slow down once someone was thrown or hit or kicked into the air. Stuff like that. And again, have a little bounce for your fall. But yeah. So it's really, really, really good. Super duper good. Obviously, also the dialogue is really funny because it always is. So, like, good job. Great job, everybody. Okay. That was our last entry. Which means I'm in trouble. I have to pick who wins. I have to pick. Oh yeah, also, it would have been nice to have, like, impact effects on the sword for when he's blocking bullets. Okay, I gotta think. Who had the best? Who wins? Visual Outcast Studio, who wins? Vagrant, you did not win, because I disqualified you, because I think you're garbage. Okay. What entries did we have here? We had that one. And that one. Which was very good. Let's see, let's start with who had the best visuals? Who wins best visuals? Who had the best visuals? Oh! Somebody had really good visuals. Wolfie, Raccoon, yes, I forgot to mention that. You did win. You did win the whole contest. Just overall. So, you know. But I have to, you know, still have to pick the losers. Definitely this one. No. Maybe not definitely that one? Oh, that's a good idea. That's what I should do. Hold on. I can make this more interesting. Does this work? Okay. Let's think. Let's see. Let's do best choreography now. Who's best choreography? There's some pretty good choreography in that one. Pretty dang good choreography. Maybe it's clear now. Perhaps it is clear to me now. Maybe it's clear to me now. Perhaps it's clear to me now. I think it's clear to me now. Yeah, it's clear to me now. Okay. That one. The description says I'm playing Honkai? What? The description where? On Discord? On YouTube? What am I playing? What am I choosing now? I'm choosing... Best narrative. I have to choose best narrative now. Which one had the best narrative? It's a tough one. Is it a tough one? Maybe it's not a tough one. Listen, this is just what happens when I don't watch the entries beforehand. I just have to think about it. So many good entries. So difficult to choose. And it can't be one of the other ones. Damn. I'm disappointed. I have to unwin some of these. It's difficult to choose. It's very difficult to choose. Alright. Okay. I think I have locked it in. No, I'm not. No, no, Septic. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm not hyping it up. I swear. No. Hold on. This is the most interesting stream you'll ever watch. Okay. Oh. Oh. I've chosen. It was very difficult to choose, but I chose them. Hello, Hydro! Things have been doing good. You're gonna love watching Septic's entry later. Alright. Best visuals. The best visuals. The best visuals. The best visuals. Absolutely the best visuals. I have to find my soundboard. The best visuals go to this person who has the best visuals that they put into their entry. Hold on, I have to actually queue it up. And I have to make sure that I haven't discorded. Oh, nothing. Okay. Best visuals. Hold on. Best visuals. The best visuals. I'm sorry, I have to do this all on my own. I'm not thinking. visuals goes to Septic wins best visuals. Great particle effects. You know, beautiful environment. Great looking Genshin Impact characters. It is paid off. Your COVID went into everything, and it paid off. The end. Okay. The next person. I don't know these things, Chloe. I'm not a weeb. I don't know any of these things. I just see anime characters with the vague Genshin Impact style. Congratulations. Your work was not in vain. Alright. So now, the next entry, the next winner, is for best choreo. And the one who wins the best choreo is... choreography, great camera movement, everything's super cool, lovely exchanges, lovely powerful hits, great timing, great impact, awesome, great. The fight for the chocolate milk was a fight for the ages. Alright. You have one delicious chocolate. I'm proud of you. Okay. Best narrative. The best narrative. Best narrative. The best narrative that I have chosen has a lovely narrative, and it is considered the best in my eyes. So we'll see who the best narrative is. It is! I have to cue it up. I forgot to cue it up. Hold on, drum roll. Drum roll again. It is. Violet wins. Violet wins the whole contest. Beat everyone. She wins everything. Expected. Violet did a great job. Team banter was great. The little setup, the characters is wonderful. Mar says, I'll give you $2 if you pick me as the winner. I will only accept $50 to not announce you as the winner. It was wonderful. Bias. No. It was really hard to choose between Raccoon and Violet, but I really like the team dynamic. You won the bet. How did you call all three? Once again, somehow Septic has found a way to win twice. Twice in one contest. You won the bet, and you won, and your entry won Best Visuals. Mar says, oh yeah, I voiced Blue Fishbowl helmet guy in Raccoon's entry. I didn't recognize it. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Good Bob. Wow. So not only did he not win a category, but now he has to pay out of pocket for something for you? Fantastic. That's cool. Good. Do everything you can to motivate each other. Bet money. I'm not encouraging, for the sake of legal reasons, I'm not encouraging betting. Alright, I will take your word for it that it's not cool. Okay. Gammer sups? Alright, great. Now you've got people who are trying to get into your gambling ring, Septic. Good luck enjoying that. Anyway, so here we are at the end of another wonderful contest entry. At the end of another wonderful contest. On the 1st, I will be announcing, on the 1st of July, I will be announcing the next contest entry. I encourage you to once again enter if you have not entered before, or if you know somebody who hasn't entered before. Encourage them to join. You know, having a nice, having a deadline and a prompt, sometimes that's all somebody needs. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep practicing. You know, I can see the potential in every single one of you. Every single one of you has a different flavor, and I'm just excited to see where you guys get to. So, keep doing what you're doing. I will announce the next contest challenge on the 1st, and then literally that week, I'll be on my way to RTX, and hopefully I'll be seeing a lot of you guys down there at RTX on Sunday, July 9th. Buy your tickets, come see the panel, and if you have the opportunity, film it, because we don't know what we're going to be doing about it. Oh, and yeah, I said it in the tweet, but just to make sure everybody knows, we're actually going to be teasing the first fight of OVA 2 at RTX. And it's gonna be cool. You guys are gonna love it, I swear. OVA 2 is real, and RTX will prove it. Alright. Oh, Mar says, but by the way, you ever see the saucy model Psy maybe? I plan to use it when I make my entry finally in 69 years. I did see the model and it looks amazing. Please use it. Septic! Stop being an Australian loser and come to RTX. Dang. Can't believe I have to tell some of y'all that. Nathan! Stop being wherever you are where you can't get to RTX. You have to go. Chloe! I understand, man. That's fine. You're very good and you're valid. Yeah. Mar will be at RTX. If you want to meet Mar, come to RTX. Okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. You can make it. Every single one of you can make it. Save money. Get on a plane. Go to RTX. I don't have anything funny to say at the end of this live stream because I have things to go do. Anyway, see you later. Bye!